Like and subscribe right now, or this will be in your bed tonight.
Hello and welcome back to ProRevenge. Before we start, please scroll down and click like and subscribe. This means that you will get more videos from me. Please like and subscribe with notifications on, and it will really help me out. Thanks. Carry your beer back to my truck, please, and thanks. I was at the river Memorial Day weekend with a couple lady friends, kicking back, swimming, and listening to music. We are having a good time by ourselves until a couple of guys come up to us on the beach. One immediately sits down on my friend Amy's chair and pulled out a box of weed stuff and starts rolling blunts. My girlfriends and I are all mid-20s professionals, and Amy and I have to pass drug tests for our work. We don't partake. I felt it was presumptuous for these guys to just insert themselves into our beach day, and I really didn't like when one of them started obnoxiously blowing smoke in our faces and shaking me for not smoking with him. I tried to politely get rid of them. Hey, it's a ladies' weekend on the beach and we were planning on keeping to ourselves, but they were not having it. None of us even wanted to get back in the water because we were being ogled by the guys in a really aggressive way. They were even making comments and hitting on my very conservative and quiet friend Emma, who was uncomfortable but not able to be vocal about getting rid of them. I decided to keep an eye on them and make sure they didn't get too out of line with my other friends, and noticed they're drinking our beer, sitting in Amy's chair, drinking my beer, blowing weed smoke in my face, making everyone uncomfortable. When Emma bent over the cooler to grab a beer, and one of the guys asked her to bend over a little more, I knew something had to be done. My awesome and wild friend Kim waited until the guys were distracted with hitting on Emma and snuck into their cooler, stealing all their beer, 15 nice local IPAs, a couple of which were my absolute favorite beer. She put all of it in our cooler and moved some ice to their cooler to make it heavier. Then Kim announced that she was tired and wanted to go home. I moved to grab the cooler, unaware at this point what happened, because I'm the pack mule usually, but Kim and Amy's hood me off. Amy hiked up her bikini bottoms and sashayed over to the super stoned guys and said, "Hey, our cooler is really heavy, do you mind helping out?" The idiots jumped up, flexed their biceps, and carried our stuff all the way up to the parking lot a half-mile away. The beach isn't easy to walk on either. Kim has them load the cooler into our truck bed and thanks them. The guys are lingering around and ask to come to the after party, and Amy pipes up and says we're just going to go eat and go to sleep. One of the guys asks for Kim's number and she declines and fires the truck up. We left them there still looking at us all slack-jawed and creepy, and when we got back to our cabin Kim showed me her spoils of war. We enjoyed some nice IPAs with our tri-tip dinner and had an excellent man-free night. The best part is, Kim was ding and doesn't even like IPAs. She wasn't getting anything out of the deal except sweet justice. I had an office food thief, so I bought a nanny cam. A couple things about me that made it really suck to have a food thief. I have a lot of food allergies, so I can't just get lunch at the cafeteria or at a nearby restaurant. I have a new baby who I'm breastfeeding and who I pump for when I'm at work. You know how hungry pregnant people are? Yeah, the caloric requirement for breastfeeding is 100 to 200 calories higher. I'm always hungry because I have a new baby. Half the time I don't manage to show up at work with a lunch. I either run out of time to pack one, or if I did remember, I leave it on the counter. My solution to all of this was to leave lots of non-perishable snacks in my office. And also a lot of candy, because I also have a 3-year-old, and therefore work is the only place I can shovel Skittles into my mouth without a little hand extending into my field of vision and a little voice saying "Wees." Snacks that were specifically free of my allergens. Some of which were specialty foods because of this. The type of specialty food that just doesn't taste as good as food that contains the allergen and also costs twice as much, because I'm not getting a lot of sleep right now. I deserve nice things. So, because I'm not getting a lot of sleep right now, when I first came back from maternity leave, assembled my snack hoard, and started having things go missing, I genuinely thought I was just losing my mind. Boxes of candy were running out faster than I thought I was eating them. I'd come in the morning and things wouldn't be where I'd left them. At one point I brought a bag of chips to work, folded the rim of the bag down, so I wasn't plunging my arm elbow deep into a grease pit and then put a bag clip on it when I went home. And when I came in the next morning the bag was unrolled and reclipped. I went, wow, I must be more tired than I thought, rolled the bag back down, and the next morning it was unrolled again. Just little things like that, almost every day, that made me go wow, the post-baby brain is worse than I thought. And then I got the flu. And I was out for a whole week. Left behind at the office was an almost full box of Enjoy Life cookies, which are not enjoyable, but are free of all major allergens, and are also $5 a box for, like, 12 sad little sand pies with some cinnamon on top. I ate one row of these cookies, and then I was out of the office for a week. For 1 week, I was not eating any of my snack hoard, but someone else was. Because I came back to work, opened my box of cookies, and found one. There was one single solitary cookie left. And, on further examination, the one box of candy that had been opened was nowhere to be found, and on top of that the thief had done me the courtesy of opening a new box for me, except that they actually followed the push here to open instructions instead of just ripping one end of the box open like I do, which they should damn well know at this point, because by this time they'd been stealing from me for 2 goddamn months. The combination of these two things, the sheer freaking audacity it takes to open a new box so you can continue stealing from someone, on top of the consumption of almost a whole box of specialty cookies that aren't even good, enraged me enough that, after going to my boss and getting some vague promises about checking if the security cameras in my wing of the building are functional or not, I went straight to Amazon and ordered myself an nanny cam. Not for my baby, for my snack hoard. Conveniently, it arrived the day before Valentine's Day. I set it up on top of a file cabinet looking down at my desk. On the desk, I laid out a fantastic spread of baked snacks. I got all my thief's favorites, and then I took it one step further. I bought myself a Valentine heart, broke the seal to make it more inviting, and left it out on my desk. The next morning, I came into some very obvious snack carnage. My thief had slowly been getting more brazen. Again, who opens a new box of something and opens it differently than the person they are stealing from? But this was just on another level. Individually wrapped things had been dumped out of their boxes. Bits of packaging had been thrown away. And, yup, they'd eaten some of the Valentine candy. For shame, office thief. Don't you know that's from someone who loves me? I played back the video. All was quiet throughout most of the evening, and I was just watching the shadows lengthen as the sun slowly set through the hallway window. And then, shortly before midnight, the night janitor arrived and went right ahead and took a 12-minute break in my office, sitting in my chair, eating my food. I started taking screenshots. I got him shoveling candy into his mouth with full palm tulips intensity, pouring things out onto the desk to pick his favorite flavors, not even bothering to put them back where he found them. And yes, eating my goddamn Valentine's candy. Screenshots went directly to my boss in an email. I went directly to my boss's daughter hover and grin and ask if he'd read my email. And I got assurances of a strongly worded email to the cleaning company and the barring of this particular employee from our place of business. I was also, tactfully, asked to please take my unauthorized spy camera home, which I did. I thought this was over until the girl who works the concession stand dropped by to thank me. Apparently the food thief would start her shift just as she was closing down for the night and would try to get free coffee in that creepy guy way. And then one of the reception staff came by with the same sentiments. I'd never met the guy face to face, but apparently, as a woman, it was not a fun experience to have. I'd shown my screenshots to a few coworkers whose eating u/5 rabbits in a long coat's food had become office gossip by this point, and word had spread fast. I worked an earlier shift, so I didn't recognize him, but people whose shifts overlapped with his did. I hadn't told my husband about what I'd done because, when I came home raging about the blatant theft that had gone on while I'd had the flu, his only response had been, "You really shouldn't be leaving food at work, then." But, when I came home with the nanny cam and explained where and why I'd gotten it, his reaction surprised me. "You know, I think this is the first time I've seen you stand up for yourself. I'm proud of you." Ick, now what, Reddit? I'm proud of me too. had my half brother removed from the will after he stole money from our father with Alzheimer's. Shortly after my father was diagnosed with Alzheimer's, my formerly estranged half brother quit his job and moved in to help take care of my dad. Though there really wasn't enough money, it was agreed to pay him around $300 a week to make up for his missing income. During this time, my half brother abruptly acquired durable power of attorney and usurped medical and financial. My mother and father had separate financial lives, decisions. Several documents relating to my dad's pension, which were now my half brother's responsibility, were not turned in on time, resulting in my dad missing out on a one-time payout of $8,000 and lowering his pension payout by $300 MO. My half brother then cleaned out my dad's remaining savings, about $3,000, not discover until about a month later. 6 days later, our father hung himself in the basement. My dad left all of his insurance money and belongings to my mother. Us children were left with only sentimental items. My half brother was visibly upset and shaking when the will was read. He acknowledged that my mother was receiving everything and left. About a month later we discovered the missing money. Though he broke no laws, because he had power of attorney, we insisted he pay it back, even offered to let him make payments over a 2-year period. He refused and we have been no contact for 2 years now. Little did he know that he was in my mom's, his stepmother's, will. He would receive half of what is currently a $250,000 estate. I suggested to my mother that she remove him from the will. She did and I'm now the sole beneficiary. He stole $3,000 now, only to lose out on $125,000 later. TL. Drive. Half brother stole $3,000 from sick father, only to be removed from the will and miss out on $125,000 later. Thank you all for watching to the end of the video. But before you go, please like and subscribe for more. Not many of you at all that watch are subscribed or like the video, and this makes me unsure if I should continue to make more content or not. So if you want more content, please like and subscribe. If you don't want to miss out on any future videos, click the bell icon next to the subscribe button. Also, please give me some feedback in the comment section about what I can do better, because not many people comment on my videos, so I have no idea of people's opinions of thoughts about this YouTube channel. So yeah, that's all from me. If you have subscribed and liked the video, please consider sharing the video with your friends. Thanks and bye. I'm still doing daily uploads, so hope to see you in tomorrow's video. Bye.